Hey everyone, it's Chris, PDX Picker. Welcome back to another video. Going to be pulling some orders that I sold over the weekend on eBay and Depop. And I'm going to give a little bit update about how things are going on with my dad for those of you that might be interested. And we're going to learn a little bit along the way about some things to be on the lookout for selling on eBay, and maybe some things to not be on the lookout for. So stick around after the intro song and we'll get to pulling those orders.
Wanna buy that Farrah Fawcett poster? Pez dispensers and a toaster. Don't know why. That kind of stuff you throw away. I'll sell on eBay.
Quick update for those of you, video a few times back, I mentioned my dad was having bypass surgery. Surgery was about a week ago. Surgery itself went well. His recovery is going very, very slow. He's still in the hospital. He's still in the ICU, actually. So who knows how much longer he's going to be there. Just having some complications. So it's been rough for sure. We're hoping he'd be home by now, but he's still quite a few days away at the least before that'll happen. So anyway, thanks so much for a few of you that reached out and sent good wishes. Much appreciated. So anyway, let's go ahead and pull some orders. We've got 10 items going out via eBay, 1 item going out on Depop. So that'll be the second thing that I've sold on there. So it's slowly growing. That's exciting. And I wouldn't have sold that item on Depop if I didn't cross list. And I use Vendoo for cross listing. So the process is really simple. If you want to cross list an item, you choose that item in Vendoo. There's a few different unique platform pieces that you'll have to update for. For Mercari has certain things that are unique to Poshmark, but once you update that information, it's listed automatically. And then maybe most importantly, after that item sells, it's delisted automatically from all the other platforms, so you don't accidentally sell an item more than once. If you haven't tried it out before, definitely give it a try. I actually have a link down below. If you try it out for the first time, you get 25% off of your first month if you go through the link that I have below. So go ahead and give it a shot if you want to try increasing your sales on cross-listing different platforms. All right, so let's go ahead and pull that Depop order. It's a pair of shoes that I picked up for practically nothing, maybe $2, probably $1. It was intermixed with a bunch of different other items in a lot that I paid a total of $20 for. So I would say I would actually say I probably bought these for $1. They're a pair of True Religion shoes. True Religion is a really good jeans brand. And this is, again, just the power of cross-listing. So there are a few of these listed on eBay. And I looked in Terapeak for like 3 years back, and I'm not sure if maybe one pair has sold. Let's get a good look at these here. I think one pair has sold in the last 3 years. I might be a little bit off on that, but for sure not very many have sold. But I went ahead and listed on Depop, which is the clientele for that is on the younger side, and these shoes I think reach out to that demographic more so. So I listed those on Depop, and within 2 weeks, it might even have been less than that, they sold for $28. Let me just make sure that I'm not making that up. They sold for $25.50. They sent me an offer and I accepted on that. So if I hadn't been using Vendoo and not cross-listing, I don't think I ever would have sold those on eBay. I just don't think they would have sold. So that's a huge mark in the pro list for cross-listing. You just reach different demographics that may never use eBay or just don't use it very much, and so you can just sell more items. It's a win-win for sure. Okay, the next item that sold, it's another one of my action figures. I've sold, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 of them out of this big, huge tote that I have. Definitely made my money back. It's just not going to be a huge score like I was hoping for at the beginning when I first bought them, just because the condition was so poor on all of them. But this guy sold here. This is a Toy Biz Doc Ock figure, a Spider-Man villain figure from probably the mid-90s. And that sold, 1994. That sold for $14.20 plus shipping. So just a little sale on there, but again, all those items were purchase for 20 cents. So definitely still a profit. All right. This next item that sold is a Christmas ornament. Don't remember where I said I stored it, but selling Christmas in June is fun. Okay, so yet again, I'd just like to point out how awesome I am. So I'm looking over here for, it's in the G2 section, which is this whole shelf I consider G2, not just this box. And I'm like, okay, is it this ornament? Oh, I look and it's not that ornament. Where could it possibly be? I'm freaking out that I have lost my ornaments. It's right here, guys. It's right here, right in front of me. All right. This guy sold Dream a Little Dream, a Nesco from the early 90s for, I want to say $18. I think it was $18 free shipping. So let's take a look here, confirm that. Come on, telephone. Yes, $18 free shipping. But more importantly, I found it. Woo! My lack of observation skills is pretty amazing at times. All right, next item is Soul Box 31. Pair of Nike Renews. These are a pretty low end model, so I was a little bit nervous that they would sell, but I cleaned them up really well and they were in really good condition to begin with. Bought them for $5, sold in about a week for $28.45 plus shipping. All right. I'm hoping this isn't too loud. It seems like it's pretty quiet, but I have finally got my mini split working over the weekend. I had installed it and somehow didn't understand. Well, I know why the somehow was. The directions were quite poor. They were very confusing to me and very jumbled and just didn't make a lot of sense. They had, out of probably, let's just say there were 8 pages of like single space line directions. There was one little line in there that talked about probably the most important thing when it comes to the cooling part of an air conditioner, which is turning on or opening the valves to let the refrigerant out, the outside unit, so that the air can actually get cold. I kind of bypassed and skipped that part initially, so when I first installed it, it wasn't working at all. I mean, it was working, it was just blowing out normal, not cold air. So I called an HVAC technician to come in. It was nice enough to say, oh, hey, you hadn't opened up the valves for the refrigerant. So it was kind of a costly $250 lesson on how to go whoop on with an Allen, take an Allen wrench and just go like it was literally just opening a little screw, kind of, 2 of them. But honestly, if I hadn't paid that money, I don't know if I ever would have figured it out. So it was money well spent. But anyway, that's nice. It's working now. It's been about 80-ish degrees here and up the past 4 or 5 days. And it's actually staying pretty cool in here. This is my first summer in my shop, the little shop of hoarders, as I like to call it. And so far so good, especially with this mini split. I have it set for 72 because I don't need it any cooler. And if you take a look at my thermometer, that little egg-shaped thing there, it's pretty darn accurate there. So staying nice and cool in here. And yeah, it's Monday. Man, my wife and I, we had probably the most productive weekend doing things around the house that we have ever had. And I'm still kind of riding the high off of it. It just felt amazing. It was the first weekend where we didn't have any sporting obligations for the kids or any just obligations in general that we had to go to. So we had the opportunity finally to get caught up on so many things around the house. We did a bunch of work on our irrigation, sprinklers. We actually hooked up and finished the mini split, so that was a big thing. I overseeded the front lawn, which took a lot more time than I thought it would. But there was a set of sprinklers in the back that we needed to wire and hook up to the irrigation system. There was a sprinkler up front that had actually been buried for 2 years. We had some excavation work done in our yard to kind of level out some areas and then build this shop. And when they build the concrete pad for where the shop is, and when they had done that, they had kind of bulldozed over or excavated over an existing sprinkler out in our front yard, and somehow miraculously it stayed working for 2 years, but it was buried underneath a layer of weed barrier and like this much of gravel. Long story long, we finally found, we had to dig into the gravel and cut the weed barrier and check here and check there. In the meanwhile, there was water pooling up because we had the sprinklers on to see where we could actually find it. That was a big ordeal. In the front, there was a whole bunch of irrigation, drip irrigation that we'd ripped out some plants and transplanted some plants. So we had drip irrigation going to nowhere, and we plugged all those and fixed some holes. We moved another sprinkler out front that was in the wrong place. So many things. And it felt just really good. All along too, I was able to keep up on my listings, edited a video, and that's going to be uploading here soon. So giving props to myself. It's the little victories that you just have to recognize, because sometimes if you don't, who will? And you just might kind of forget what's going on good in your life and positively, and just focus on negative things. But when things are going good, take a moment to just soak it in and relish in that success that you've had. So don't forget about that along the way. All right, let's pull some more orders. Just a couple more going out here. I bought this because I paid a little more than I wanted to. I paid $10 for this holster at the estate sale that I went to last week or so. That was the weird one. And just watch one of my previous videos and you'll figure that one out. But anyway, I paid $10 for this. It's a Ruger SP101 revolver holster. Had a bunch of watchers right away, like 4-6 watchers in the first few days anyway. Had it listed for $40 and eventually settled on an offer of $32. So $10 into $32 plus shipping on that one. Next item that sold. Took a little bit of a chance on this because when I bought these, they were very dirty, and they still are a teeny bit dirty, but I spent a little chunk of time cleaning these up. They're a pair of toddler Hey Dudes, and they're, patriotic themed with 4th of July coming up right around the corner. That's the reason I bought them for $2. And you can see they got a little bit of staining here in the front, but overall the the sides and everything they look pretty clean. So I sold those for $13 plus shipping, because I figured what happened is exactly what would happen, which would be it would be a relatively quick flip, and it was just a couple of days and they sold. So all right, this next item, it says it's in box 30. It doesn't look like it's in box 30. Get that out of there because I can't sell that. So let's try this again. It's a pair of Olukai flip-flops, men's flip-flops. Oh, they sold for $30. They're in box 15, but they sold for $30. Not that they were in box 30. So these don't look like they're in box 15 either. Yeah, they're there. So as I have mentioned many, many times in my previous videos, I love selling Olukais, especially their flip-flops. Some of their shoes don't sell quite as well, but their flip-flops this time of year sell really well. And this is a kind of a large pair, very good condition, hardly worn at all, size 13. These are $60+ flip-flops, brand new, and in this condition they look almost brand new as it is, but those sold for $30 plus shipping. I paid $2 for those at a yard sale. All right, little tiny baby sale here, $8.50 for a 3-pack of Waylon Jennings 8-tracks. I bought these 2 8-track players from the same person, and while we were there, we tested one out, and one of them didn't work, but the other one kind of worked. It worked. The sound wasn't super great. It was kind of scratchy when you would just adjust the volume, no big deal. And I got it home, and I went to test it. It took a while. I waited probably 3 months before I tested it. But I went to test it, and now nothing. No sound at all. So I'm hoping that I can eventually figure out how it works, because it's like a $100 8-track stereo, because it's an old vintage Pioneer branded one. Super nice. Probably could sell for $100 easily. Maybe more. I could probably still sell the speakers, but nonetheless. Anyway, long story long, I went to test these very 8 tracks in the machine to see if they worked, and also just to test out the machine again. None of them worked. But it's because of the machine, I'm pretty sure. Because I tried a few other 8 tracks and they weren't working anyway. But I paid $1.50, 50 cents each for those, and they sold for $8.50 plus shipping. All right, I'll pull 3 more. I'll tell this story because it just drives me nuts. I had this, I think I've actually mentioned this before too. I had this guy in England somewhere, UK somewhere. I don't know if it's England. And he had messaged me about these like Mego action figures, these like 12-inch, 14-inch action figures that are DC Comics related, like Green Lantern and Lex Luthor. And like a month or 6 weeks ago, he messaged me. He was just urgently wanting to buy these, but for some reason, my listing was telling him he wasn't allowed to buy them. So because he wanted to buy them, and he just got a message that kept popping up that said this item is not eligible for international shipping. So sorry, you can't buy them, which is weird because all of my listings, as far as I know, are eligible for international shipping, and I've shipped quite a few things internationally. I even called eBay, reached out to them, explained what the situation or the problem was. They looked into it, couldn't figure out why he was having that problem, and anyway, I just messaged him back, sorry, I can't figure it out, or eBay said there's nothing wrong, so whatever. So anyway, he was bummed, so bummed. He wanted these so bad for his collection, and he kept messaging me. Any updates? Like every week for like 3 weeks. Then finally, about 3-4 weeks ago, I hadn't heard from him, and he just stopped messaging me, and I thought, whatever. He forgot about it. So, well, all of a sudden, like 4 or 5 days ago, those items sold. And I didn't know who it was at first. And I looked into contacting the buyer, and as soon as I pressed contact buyer, it turns out that I had quite a bit of message history with the buyer, because it was in fact this guy from the United Kingdom. And so somehow he had figured out a way to buy them. Great. Well, except he hasn't paid for them. I hate how eBay allows this, and sure, this is probably partially on me, which is, there's a button that you can check that says if somebody chooses the buy it now option, then you must require immediate payment. And I didn't check it for this listing, because it's been now, he purchased this on the 6th of June, and it is now June 10th. He still hasn't paid for them. I've messaged him a few days ago, reminding him to send payment. Of course, eBay sends their automated message reminding him to send payment. Still nothing. It's just, this guy is like, so, and I have a feeling when I do send these to him, if he ever does pay them, he's gonna hate them and give me negative feedback. It's the kind of stuff that happens with this. But I just don't understand. Some people are they're just different. They are just different. The urgency and non-urgency that this guy goes through all at the same time. I mean, like, he had messaged me in the middle of the night, his time, the very first time that he went to buy these, because it was like, so if he's 9 hours ahead, he messaged me at like noon, and noon my time, so it would have been like 3 a.m. his time. And he's like, please help me figure out how to buy these. I want these so badly, but it won't let me, back the whole message of saying it wouldn't ship internationally. And he sent me like 4 messages before I got a chance to even reply. So he was just so keen on wanting these, and he's been following up for weeks trying to buy these. He just doesn't want to pay for them. So, all right, this next item that sold, pretty cool pair of LA Gate jeans, this bright red color here. This isn't going to show up too well. These are very large jeans, and these are like Junko style jeans, or Jinko style jeans. Jeanco, right? J-A-J-N-C-O, whatever, however you pronounce it. That's what that's the style that they are. They aren't that brand, but they look very similar to those. So, you know, Jeanco jeans will sell for like $100 or more. They sold for $33.95, but they have that really big, baggy, wide leg look to them, and those are big. Those are a waist size 46 and an inseam of 30. So I think that contributed to maybe them taking a little bit longer than normal to sell, but it only took about a month, I would say. Not too long. And I tell you how much they sold for? I picked them up for $2 at my new favorite thrift store, and they sold for $33.95 plus shipping. Next item that sold, also from my favorite thrift store, my new favorite thrift store, was a pair of these New Balance high tops. There was a collaboration, or I don't know if it was a collaboration, is the right term, but these are a pair of New Balance high tops that you could only buy at J. Crew. They are 891s, New Balance 891s, in very good condition. They came out probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I paid $7.99 for those, and they sold in just a couple of weeks for $49.95 plus shipping on those. So New Balance still continues to be a really great seller. Not every model, but most of them, not most of them, many of them are very quick sells and for high prices. So this last item that sold, I was a little bit worried. I went to this garage sale. This will be the last item I pull, and then we'll be done for the day. But I went to this garage sale. It was like a community yard sale, and it had been raining off and on in the morning, so there wasn't maybe as many people out as there could have been. And I go up to this house. It was kind of on the little bit of a dead end, and I couldn't tell if she was open or not because there was just a few random like racks of clothing in her garage, and then one outside. So turns out she was just about getting ready to put everything away because she had stepped away for maybe, I don't know, a half an hour or something, and during that time it just kind of downpoured and drenched all of the clothing out there that she had put out, and she hadn't sold anything, and she was super upset by the experience, which is understandable. I wouldn't want to get all my clothes sopping wet, but she said that I was still, you know, I could take a look around, and so I found a few items and made like a pile and was wondering how much she was going to ask for these. And she made some reference a few times how, you know, she had them listed for this amount on Facebook Marketplace, and you know, so I have them listed for whatever, let's say $20 on, or $40 on Facebook Marketplace, so I'll, you know, only charge you $25 or something like that. And so she was just way too high priced. Didn't seem like she wanted to sell anything really. I finally found this pair of Tevas. They're new here with the tags, but they're kind of a small size. And she eventually agreed to sell them to me for $8, begrudgingly. She wanted to sell these to me for quite a bit more, and I didn't even want to pay $8 for these, primarily because of the small size. But they did sell. What size are these things? 5. So I think it's a men's 5, so I might have sold these as women's. Anyway, I actually sold relatively quickly, just a couple of weeks. Again, it's, yeah, size 6.5 women's, for $25 plus shipping. So 8 into 25. I did find one thing there, and that's kind of the moral of the story, is even if people are super high priced on their items, there still might be a diamond in the rough somewhere. And I, you know, made about $10 or so off of this one pair of Tevas by just spending a couple extra minutes hunting. So anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Please like the video if you did like it. dislike the video if you disliked it. I don't care either way. Go ahead and drop one of them because it helps me out on the video metrics. I think YouTube loves videos that get a bunch of downvotes anyway. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my video so you can see more content like this in the future. Appreciate y'all out there. Good luck in hunting. Good luck in selling. And we'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.